G'day guys, my name's Dave Tran and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. And in this lesson, I'll be teaching you how to play Little Things by One Direction. Now this song is comprised of two guitar parts which sound really great when played together. Now if you play each guitar part by itself, then it works with the song as well and you can actually sing along. In this video, I'm going to teach you both ways of playing this song. For the first way, we'll need a guitar in standard tuning and you won't need a capo. Now the guitar I'm playing in this video is a Cole Clark Little Lady 2. There's a link in the description below if you want to find out more. Now be sure to head over to guitarzerotohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook, or if you want to take your guitar to the next level, then check out Guitar Zero to Hero Premium, which is my complete step-by-step guitar course. Okay, so let's jump into the first way of playing it. Now, it's all going to be fingerpicked, of course. Now, for the fingerpicking basics, your thumb will take care of the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings, and your index, middle, and ring finger will take care of the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings, respectively. They shouldn't pluck any other strings other than the ones they've been assigned to. So, starting with the verse riff, and we start with the nice and easy G chord shape. Now, I'm going to teach you the picking pattern that will be used throughout most of this song. There are a couple of exceptions, but I'll get to that later. So the typical picking pattern will be the bass note of whatever chord we're playing. So that's going to be the 6th string for this G chord, then the 4th string, and then the 2nd string. And we're going to repeat that sequence twice. So bass, 4th, 2nd, bass, 4th, 2nd. And then we're going to end this picking pattern with 4th string and 3rd string. So that's the typical picking pattern for this first guitar part, which will sound like this all together. Now we're going to play that for our first bar. For our second bar, we stay in this G chord, and this is where we have a variation to our picking pattern. So our first 6 notes for this bar are the same as a typical picking pattern. But the last 2 is where it differs. So we'll hit the open 5th string, and then your index finger will hit the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and then we'll go into the C add 9 chord shape like this. So it's the same shape as a G, just your index and middle fingers move down 1 string. So in total for that bar. Now when we get to our C add 9, it's just simply played for 2 of our typical picking patterns. And so far for the first line of tab. Then we're going to go to an E minor 7. So you'll leave your ring and pinky finger where they are. Index, middle go onto the 2nd fret of the 5th and 4th strings. Now we're going to be plucking this for 1 picking pattern. So our bass note here is the open 6th string. Like that. Then our next shape is based around D chord. So to play this particular one though, your ring finger will go on the 4th fret of the 4th string, index on the 2nd fret of the 3rd, and middle finger goes on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. We're going to play this for 1 picking pattern. Our bass note here is the 4th string, so it'll sound like this. But on the last note, you can actually lift all your fingers and you'll hit the open 3rd string. So. Now, if that particular D chord shape is too tricky for you to play, then you can just play a normal D chord and have the exact same picking pattern. But this particular D chord shape is more correct to the studio version, but it's up to you in which one you want to choose. Now when we get to our third bar of the second line of tab, we're going to go to a C chord. Now the picking pattern here is going to change a little bit. So we're going to go bass note, which is the 5th string, 4th string, and then 2nd string, and then go to the 3rd string. So just 4 plucks there. And then for the next chord shape, we're just going to slide this exact shape up 2 frets. So this is another form of a D chord. And we're just going to pluck the bass note, 4th string, and 2nd string. So in total for that bar. And for our final bar, we return to the G chord and play that for 1 typical picking pattern. So in total, the second line of tab will sound like this. And in total, the verse sounds like this. Next, we're going to get to the chorus, and we're going to start with an A minor 7 chord shape here. So it's the same as an A minor, except you lift your ring finger up off that 3rd string. We're going to play one typical picking pattern for this A minor, so the bass note is the 5th string. And then we're going to go to a C chord, play one typical picking pattern. After that, it's a E minor chord shape for one picking pattern. And then we're going to go to our strange looking D chord like this and play that for one picking pattern. Now you can play a normal D chord here if you prefer, but I believe that this chord shape is actually in the recording. So altogether, the first line of tab will sound like this. Now you play that through twice, and then the second line of tab is just a C chord played for one picking pattern. And then we're just going to end with a strum. Now that's for the first chorus. For the second chorus, you actually play that C chord for 2 picking patterns instead. So in total, chorus 1, for example, will sound like this. That's it for the chorus. After the first chorus is a short break, which is a G chord. We're going to be plucking the bass note, 4th string and 2nd string, and just doing that 3 times. The final thing we need to learn is the bridge, which is really nice and easy. There's just one line of tab here, and it's similar to the first line of tab in the chorus, except instead of going to an E minor chord shape, we're going to a G chord shape. So it's A minor 7, C, G, and then our D chord shape like this. But of course, you can play a regular D chord shape. Each chord is played for one typical picking pattern, which sounds like this. And you just keep playing that again and again for the bridge. So that's everything for the first guitar part. If you want to skip to the playthrough for that, then the timestamp's up here. But now I'll continue on with guitar part number 2, which is really fun to play. Alright, so for guitar part number 2, you'll need your guitar in standard tuning, and you will need a capo on the 5th fret of your guitar. Now this particular guitar I'm playing is a Cole Clark Fat Lady 2. There's a link in the description if you want to find out more. We're going to be finger picking the second guitar part as well, so the rules stay exactly the same. Let's start with the verse. Now our picking pattern's going to go like this. We're going to be plucking the bass note, which is the 4th string in this instance, then the 3rd string and 1st string. So those first 3 plucks. Now we're going to repeat those same 3 plucks, but for this second time, you're going to lift your ring finger. And then for our last 2 plucks, we have the bass note and 2nd string. So in total for the D shape, we have this. Now you're going to be repeating that bar twice. Remember to put your ring finger back down when you go to that second bar. Now for our 3rd bar, you're going to keep your ring finger where it is, and we're going to go to a G chord shape, except just put your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, and your index finger is going to go onto the 2nd fret of the 1st string. In terms of our picking pattern, it's going to be exactly the same as what we had for the D chord, except our bass note is now the 6th string. We're also going to be doing the same thing where we lift our index finger after the first 3 notes. So that will sound like this. And you're going to play that bar through twice. So the G shape sounds like this. For our second line of tab, we're going to go to a B minor 7 shape. So keep your ring finger where it is. Index and middle finger will go on the 2nd fret of the 5th and 3rd strings. We're going to be using the exact same picking pattern for this chord shape, except our bass note is the 5th string in this instance, and we're not going to be lifting any notes off our fretting hand. So it will sound like this. And for our next chord shape, we're just going to lift our index finger and play the exact same notes. For our 3rd bar in this second line of tab, we go back to a G chord shape, and we're plucking the bass note, 3rd, 1st, and then 2nd string. So, and then we're going to go to an A chord shape, but you're going to take your index finger and just bar it across the 2nd fret of the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. Now we're going to pluck the 5th string by itself, the 3rd string, 2nd string, and then with either your middle or ring finger, hit the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. So in total for the 3rd bar, and for our final bar, we just return to the D and play that typical picking pattern. So in total, the verse will simply sound like this for guitar number 2. Alright, so we move on to the chorus, and there's 3 lines of tab here. So we're going to start with an E minor 7 chord shape. So from your D shape, leave your ring finger where it is. Your index and middle will go on the 2nd frets of the 5th and 4th strings. Our picking pattern here will be bass note, 3rd string, 1st string, repeated through twice. And then bass note and 2nd string. So it's that typical picking pattern that we've had for the verse as well. And then we're going to go to our G chord shape, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing that we had in the verse, but just for 1 bar. Then we're going to go to our B minor 7 chord shape, and this is where our picking pattern will change a little bit. So it's bass note, 3rd string, 2nd, that repeated twice, and then bass note and 2nd. So in total. And finally, for our 4th bar, we're going to go to our A shape with our index finger barred like this. We're going to pluck the open 5th string, then 3rd, 2nd, and then with our ring finger, go to the 3rd fret, lift our index finger, hit the 2nd string again, then 3rd string, then 4th string, and then lift your index finger and hit the open 4th string. So all together for the A. And in total for the first line of tab. Now the second line of tab is almost identical. The only thing that differs here is the E minor 7 shape. We're going to play the bass note, 3rd and 2nd strings, repeated twice. And the bass note and 2nd string. So we're just swapping that 1st string out for a 2nd string. So that's the only variation there. Then for our third liner tab, we're going to a G chord shape, and we're plucking the bass note, third string, and second string, doing that through twice. Then bass note and second string. And then for the first chorus, we'll just strum the G chord. But in the other choruses, you'll just repeat that picking pattern through twice. So in total, the first chorus will sound like this. Then after the first chorus, we have a short break, and it's just a D chord shape, and we're just going to pluck the open 5th string, open 4th string, and 3rd string, and do that through 3 times. That's it for the break. The final thing we need to learn is the bridge, and it's very similar to the second line in the chorus. The only thing that differs here is that instead of going to a B minor 7 shape, we're going to a D chord shape in the 3rd bar. So in total, the bridge will sound like this. And that's everything you need to learn for the second guitar part, which is really fun to play, and when combined with the first guitar part, sounds really cool. So now I'll be playing through both versions, and I'll have a vocal track on top for some context. So feel free to play these back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
it's you, it's you, they add up to, and I'm in love with you. And all these little things, I won't let these little things slip out of my mouth. But if it's true, it's you, they add up to, I'm in love with you. And all your little things. Your hand fits in mine like it's made just for me. But bear this in mind, it was meant to be. And I'm joining up the dots with the freckles on your cheeks, and it all makes sense to me. I know you've never loved the crinkles by your eyes when you smile. You've never loved your stomach or your thighs, the dimples in your back at the bottom of your spine. But I love them endlessly. I won't let these little things slip out of my mouth. But if I do, it's you, oh it's you, they add up to, I'm in love with you. And all these little things. You can't go to bed without a cup of tea. Maybe that's the reason that you talk in your sleep. And all those conversations are the secrets that I keep, though it makes no sense to me. I know you've never loved the sound of your voice on tape. You never want to know how much you weigh. You still have to squeeze it into your jeans. You're perfect to me. I won't let these little things slip out of my mouth. But if it's true, it's you, they add up to, I'm in love with you. And all these little things, you never love yourself half as much as I love you. You never treat yourself right, darling, but I want you to. If I let you know I'm here for you, maybe you'll love yourself like I love you. I've just let these little things slip out of my mouth. 'Cause it's you, oh it's you, they add up to, and I'm in love with you. And all these little things, I won't let these little things slip out of my mouth. But if it's true, it's you, they add up to, I'm in love with you. And all your little things.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to head over to guitarzerotohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you want to take your guitar to the next level, then check out Guitar Zero to Hero Premium, which is my complete step-by-step guitar course. As always, it would mean the world if you could hit that like button, hit subscribe, click the little notification bell as well so that you don't miss out my updates. Please leave your thoughts, comments, questions, and requests down below, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.